Einstein. I have a short story to read. I'll try to make it amusing. I'll try to make it interesting.
Yeah, actually, your volume is still too low.
Yeah, it's too low.
Just want to get that closer to you.
All right. That'll work. Better? Better? Pump the volume. Okay, well, we'll work with this. Don't hesitate to interrupt, jeer, cheer, clap as you're on mute. This presentation comes with colorful photographs you can't see. And it comes with amusing sound effects. It has intrigue, interest. It's, like I say, yours in the making. It is a surprise. Pieces of it taken individually would make you think it's nothing. But when all the pieces are brought together, I found I have a very intriguing tale to tell. It's the oddest story ever told, or how I met William Rupp and Bernadette. How often does life present us with true coincidence? And when encountering what seems to be coincidence, how can we tell whether there is not a deeper cause behind these apparently chance circumstances? The question resolves itself in one of the classic dilemmas of philosophy. Whether there is free will, or the events in the world are predetermined. If the causal chain of events behind every happening is a result of free will, then the story you're about to listen to, although truly remarkable and wonderful, is merely an odd story. Product of pure coincidence. So although interesting, in the final analysis, it is just one of thousands of tales that could be easily chalked off as of no work. It would seem to be as if two people merely met on a street corner one day, a not very noteworthy event, merely another chance encounter. And when they meet again many years later, just another chance encounter. And when they meet again many years later, you guessed it, just another chance encounter. So many chance encounters in so vast a world will bring the fabulous statistical calculations of even our famous Mr. Spock to a standstill as he tries to calculate the probability. Does this mean that all these things were fated to happen? But if fate is the hand behind these apparent chance encounters, then to what purpose? It is a chilling, sobering thought to concede that more than free will has been at work. When looking at all these chance encounters spread over so many decades, the oddness becomes striking. When all is said and done, this is beyond doubt one of the strangest stories you'll ever hear. In the beginning, there was this kid. All my life, I've been fascinated in fandom, listening to accounts of that day that everybody has. That first day when someone is brought into fandom, the first time they read a book, the first story they read. Whatever it is that brought them into this world. See, I don't have that story. I grew up in this world. My father was a fan. Everything in my life was always surrounded by science fiction. Even Robert Silverberg recently told me his story. How he discovered fandom, how he came into science fiction, and he blamed it all on Raj Phillips, a fan writer in the pages of Amazing Stories. And this is another coincidence to me because Raj Phillips is my godfather. So the circle keeps coming around to these strange coincidences. And it's just another aspect of the odd thread through all of these. Now, how the truly strange story began, or how the trivial is never quite what it seems. In 1965, just after I turned 10 years old, our father loaded us into his caravan and moved us from Chicago, where he was working, to San Diego. You know, California, movie star, swimming pools. From a successful career in science fiction, he entered into a partnership with Bill Hamlin, an editor of Amazing Stories, Fantastic Adventures, Imagination, and Rogue magazine. Together, the two built Greenleaf Classics into the world's largest independently owned adult book publisher. But that's not their story. However, it's just background to lead up to step one. In 1966, I turned 11 and I began junior high school. Who among us cannot remember those days of youth when they first entered the hallowed halls of advanced education, stepping into the world of junior high school? Well, it's the same for me. I can't forget. I can't forget the day I entered my first period classroom in my homeroom for the year, Spanish. And if you've not guessed yet, you have not been listening closely, because this is where it starts getting weird.
What high school?
It starts getting weird right here, because in my first class, the other player in this odd trioc of fate appeared. My school teacher was Bill Rupp.
I'm probably going to be talking to you in the next 10 days or so.
That would be interesting too when you hear the ending. Okay, the first day he's in class, I noticed Mr. Rupp eyeing me, and he eyed me strangely. It made me nervous as a young kid going on 12, why this guy kept checking me out. And one day, at the end of class, he walks up to me and asks me if my father's Earl Kemp. You see, I am Earl Kemp. That's my first name. This is how I'm known to people, as Earl Kemp, not Terry, which I go by when I'm in my father's world. I had a chill in my spine when he asked about Earl. I didn't think much of it, but a few days later, I'm headed home, and right out in front of my house, one of the neighbors is waiting for me, one of the neighbor kids. Now, this was the neighbor troublemaker. He was the guy that the cops always showed up on the doorstep for. There was this day when he was hiding behind the same bush and pointed out the cops in his house waiting to arrest him. So he was the bad guy. But this time he got to turn it around. I'm the bad guy because he noticed my Spanish teacher was in my house. And it was, what did you do wrong? You're in for trouble now. No, Bill had tracked me down via my address to visit my father to talk to him about his new hobby, science fiction. And that had been a strange encounter because at that point in my father's life, he was not at all interested in science fiction. I walked in that house and Bill Rupp's lovely wife was sitting on the couch drinking beer, and at the time Bill was a teetotaler and wasn't drinking, but he was staring avidly at my father's book collection trying to quiz him about it, and none of this came about. I could see when he left it hadn't gone over quite the way he had expected it to, and I realized in peevishness that I would receive the brunt of it. And sure enough, I was right. He made me the star in his radio show. He came up with this project. We were all going to star in his first science fiction effort, a radio play. Wonderful, okay? You think that's good? I don't. There was the day during graduation when they had a special assembly and played it in front of everybody. As I tried to hide and disappear, and everybody said, "Oh, that's you, that's you." Well, the tape will come up again shortly, too, as another aspect of this. So, 1967 is rolling around next year, and not much is happening. I got embarrassed in class. Well, the WesterCon was coming up. WesterCon 20. I was just of an age when science fiction was starting to interest me. Oddly enough, the WesterCon 20 from 1967 would be the last con I would attend. My father had totally moved on, and we knew about this happening. But in this convention, I created that lasting memory we all have. I wanted my day. I had the program guide, my guide. I went around to everybody I knew, and through my father I knew everybody, and had them sign, everybody in attendance there, sign my booklet, sign my booklet. I bugged everybody. I chased Scotty down, who was there. Harlan Ellison had come in to show the two Star Trek movies, the prelude to the show. He wouldn't sign, he wouldn't sign. I chased him with my first camera into the kitchen with his new date on his hand, who was more interested in, and finally stopped and posed. It was my flashing camera that got him to stop and finally repent and sign my booklet. Harlan Ellison was the same way. I've known Harlan Ellison all my life. He has slept in my bed when he's passed out, too drunk to drive home or go home on the L in Chicago. And he wouldn't pose for a picture. He wouldn't sign my booklet. Same thing, date on hand. I had this fabulous photo when he finally relented, sticking his tongue at me. So I signed this, had everybody sign this booklet, and I put it away, and life went on, and decades passed. So many decades, and it became 2005, 2006, from the world of science fiction, because this is not my world, it's my father's world. I had my own world, but I'm back into it with my father. He takes me to, he's been rediscovered. Adult publishing is good now. The cover artists famous, selling their canvases for $10,000. The eagerness to find out about the whole industry is there. So he's been rediscovered, and there's a convention in Los Angeles, and he wants me to go with him. And while we're there, he knows my pet passion. He introduces me to a man named Len Moffat and his lovely wife June Moffat, fans from day one. And Len was a pal of Raj Phillips, my godfather, and I had questions and questions for him. And then all of a sudden I'm interviewing Len just to find out about Len. And I started writing articles for fanzines, and Len was one of my first. I was intrigued by him. Among other things, he was in Nagasaki 2 days after the bomb in Nagasaki. Never known that. When people interviewed him, they were interested in the fans, science fiction stuff, not about the man. I found it fascinating, and he gave me lots of pictures. And I found out about Raj. Shortly after that time, Len passed. And about that time, though, I had a reason to go to my collection of little knickknacks, and I rediscovered my booklet. And as I was looking through it, page by page, at the various autographs and remembering fondly the people and times, meeting Don Reed, who was president of the Count Dracula Society, and going to lunch at one of their meetings, meeting Lon Chaney Jr. as he was speaking about one of his roles. Lovely stuff. As I'm capturing all these memories again, I look through the list of participants at WesterCon 20. And this chapter in my little booklet is how I almost met Werner Vinge.
What year was WesterCon?
1967.
Because I didn't go to it.
Ah, but you are on the list of attendees.
Okay.
I wondered, and that's why I was careful, how I almost met him. So I'm looking at the list of attendees on my booklet, and the first one I spot is Len Moffat, and I go, I could have had him sign my booklet. Next time I'm back in LA, I have June sign it, please. And Karen Anderson, who was also there. But the first time around, I had been interested in Paul Anderson. Yesterday, I got Astrid Anderson to sign my booklet. And as I'm reading it and looking at it, I spot Werner. And I go, oh my God, not only could I need to have him sign my booklet, and of course I wouldn't have known him at 12, wandering through the convention that he almost attended,
Right.
and
If
I
had been
almost
there, I
met
would
him.
have been looking for Paul too.
It's right here, next to, drum roll, rim shot, DC Fontana. Another must for my booklet.
Show me. Wow. Okay, so you agree I probably wasn't there.
Oh, absolutely not. And even if we were, I would not have seen you. But this is the occasion we almost
Right,
met.
right.
The odd story again, the odd coincidence from William Brooke to you, 30 years later. So I'm looking at this artifact and I'm going, wow, okay, get all these people to sign. So I've been taking around getting everybody to sign my little book. And as I come back to Vernon, I realized something. In 1995, I had some time on my hands. I was between career moves in my life. And one day at the Comic-Con, I met this young lady. I had all my books, my known press books with their wonderful Kelly Frias covers in hand, and Kelly Frias was there, and I was standing in front of Kelly, having him sign all my dust jacket, and someone spotted me, this lovely young lady, and she invited me to one of the 2 premier science fiction clubs in San Diego. And but this was a different class, a different kind of club, and I started attending meetings. Recognize yourself?
I recognize at least one person.
That's me. A moment ago, I told Werner we knew each other, and he, of course, looked at me like, yeah, what a load. Well, here's another, a better shot. You're smiling in this one.
So what year and what was the name of the science fiction?
1995.
Okay.
I don't remember the name of the club. I don't remember the name of the charming young lady who invited me to join the club. It was a brief period of my time.
That does look like me.
Yes, yes. Oh, there's no question it's you. So I had this opportunity in 1995 to have Werner sign my booklet. All right, that's the tie that binds through all this. Sign my booklet. All right. Now I'm connecting more dots in my mind as time goes on, as more projects come together. I have this database project, and put this database project together that has all the pulps and issues of pulps, and who wrote what stories, the analog, all the table of contents, and all the people. And as I'm perfecting it, unifying all the names and making sure they're spelled correctly and everything, a name keeps popping up. William Rupp. And at first I kind of put it in the back of my mind, I don't think much of it. And then I come back to it because it is an unusual name. And finally I make a connection one night, I wake up and I go, nah, it couldn't be. And I'm still puzzled. I'm thinking, that couldn't be my William Rupp. And I look at it closer and I see, William Rupp, Werner Vinge, collaborating on a story together. And Werner does not collaborate with many people. So we have another unique connection in my honest story I wrote. Oh, I'm putting some facts together. Then I put it aside. I go, okay, I missed my shot with Werner. Maybe someday I'll be able to see him, have him sign my booklet, and I'll be content and rest easy, and I'll have my day, my memory that ties me to all of this.
If I do sign the booklet, though, future historians will be very mystified.
Well, hey, that's their problem. I know the facts. They'll have to find my little chapbook and find out about all of this. So time goes by. I retire. I don't think I'm ever going to come to one of these again. And then Mike Towery comes to me one day and he says, hey, why don't you come to this Oktoberfest thing that's happening? And I go, okay. And I start putting stuff together for this. And I figure, oh, hey, my family lives in San Diego. I don't. This would be great. Lots of edges, lots of combinations on it. And I'm not thinking about it. Then the day comes when Mike sends me an email and says, Werner is coming. Oh, am I so happy? I mean, it's a double, it's a trifecta. Murphy Anderson came too. I mean, fate was moving here. There's no free will. We're destined to be on the stage together. We've passed coincidence now. We moved into something metaphysical. Well, I start thinking about what can we do? How can I do it? What can I do? I don't want to just walk up to you and say, sign my booklet and walk away. Got to do something. So I get a hold of Bill Rupp. I want to get my facts straight. Now, Bill Rupp, for a while recently, had his own magazine, Continuum Science Fiction. And I think, well, he's my man. He'll be up for this. I tried to interest him in several things. A surprise. Well, come. I'll buy you dinner. I mean, isn't that enough incentive? I'll buy you dinner. He didn't answer my second email. My first one he did. He verified he was my Spanish teacher. That was important. He didn't answer that one because he wouldn't answer the other ones. Puzzles. There's more to the story than I know. So I tried everything to get him here. When that didn't happen, I thought, well, I still like this idea of a surprise. And I started thinking about it. And I thought, well, maybe my story's interesting. Maybe it's too thin. you know. But then I sat down and I put all these pieces together and I decided, you know what, it's not thin. It's a pretty good story. And that's when I came and approached Mike with our official presentation. But a chapbook. Since I've recently embraced aspects of science fiction I never thought I would, I joined SAPS, which is a Spectators Amateur Press Association. They need members. Contact me if you want to join. We desperately need more members. That's why they let me come in, because they're that desperate. And then I joined FAPA, same thing. They're really desperate too, otherwise I'd be on that waiting list. And I write articles for this and fanzines for it. And I produce little things because they're very into the artifact. And well, I can do my chapbook. I've heard about chapbooks. I collect chapbooks. I spend a whole lot of money, decent money on chapbooks. Well, I'll produce my own and you guys can spend a decent amount of money on my chapbooks. And limited edition. Now, to show you how limited they are, Werner gets one with photos in it. The rest you know. No, I have special editions inside my special editions, part of this presentation. And I thought, well, to honor our strange tie, I created this. Because I'm the tie that binds everybody together, just like I found this. That's my joke. It's supposed to be a punchline.
Better say it over.
Oh, I'm the tie that binds everybody together. I don't know what would happen to our Mr. Rupp if he hadn't found me and my father, and maybe being peevish spurred Bill on to staying in the field. And the story I don't know is how he met Werner and got involved in there. Props. Yeah, I told you there would be props and special effects. This is it. The book.
Oh, that's the one with the collaboration.
Yes, this is the one with the collaboration in it. And like I say, one of a kind. Now I hoped, and I'm stalling and looking, that Bill would actually surprise me and show up. And that's
So your last word was either ambiguous or negative?
negative.
Negative.
Negative. Some people reach this point where the gap is from the field, and I don't know why, but everything sort of shuts down. Maybe, and when you talk with Bill, you can, because I have a copy of this for him too.
You have what?
Well, part of this presentation is for Bill too. I made 5 copies for the key people involved in the presentation as part of this, so you know the numbers for you that are collectors, and 15 more copies here to give away as part of this surprise presentation to bind us all together in the oddest story that I know. And of course I'm looking forward to hearing the next chapters and some more of the backstory, but I thought, well, for an event here, it would be a lot of fun to make this presentation and achieve my goal, have him sign my booklet, and to further encourage you all here, have him sign everybody's booklet, and as an extra bonus, I'll sign them too. It's all for you here. It really is. It's been a gas. I look forward to more of these odd chance encounters as strangers on the street.
Well, thank you, Terry. This definitely did come as a surprise to me. We will be fooling future historians as to my presence at the WesterCon, which is always fun to fool future historians.
It's as good as a pseudonym.
Right. Well, one of those books is for Bill, right? Okay.
And for you, and for me.
I think that's very nice.
And I'm preserving one for Greg Bear, who assisted participants.
Oh!
So these are the,
Right,
I had one in mind for
because
Tim Powers too,
Right.
who I asked to help
There's-
Shanghai you as one of Terry and the Pirates.
Right.
And the rest, of course, for our kind audience who's actually listened and gasped at that. I imagine you guys would get them walk away when I start talking, so I'm really pleased. Clearly you know I'm not a mistake author. So this has been a real hoot for me, and a pleasure to make this and set this up. And Mike Towery, you guys, if you don't know Mike, spot him, say hi. Encourage him to weather exhaustion and do this again next year. Because this is a nice idea, it's a nice plan, and a nice happening thing. And I like to see this happen every year. The San Diego Comic-Con, International Comic-Con got too big. And it's nice to have small venues where I can make a presentation, where we could share our odd stories. And someday I look forward to someone coming to me with an odd story over their chance encounters over the next 50 years. So, if I can set you all up and sign the closing. And like I say, verse 15, get one free. Mr. 16 or Miss 16, whoever you are. Too bad. First things first. I have reserved a spot on the cover, right next to Bob Block. I was telling Bernard my Bob Block story. I have a Bob Block story. I'm not involved in this world, but I live on the edges and have these encounters with people. And Harry Warner Jr. was the preeminent fan historian. He wrote this book, All Our Yesterdays. And inside All Our Yesterdays, I like this story because I rubbed my father's nose in this story. Fathers and fathers-in-laws seem to always have problems. So, if we can get a chair, a table to sign these things, and people can pass and sign these, pick up their copy. Here, let me put this one chair. Here. Maybe we can use this as some desk.
We just want to make sure that your microphones don't bounce down before you miss it.
And the presentation is here for all and your fans. It is a font. When I lost my don't know what the name, it came so close to liberty. And it actually was to be honest. I variously used the strange words. I was not so strange at all.